goes over top by an inch of that black.
Of that thing.
That thing in the background should be way higher than you.
I see, yeah.
Now I see wall, right?
All right, so we've got a couple of adjustments to make then. Should I move more this way? This is more.
Center you.
Oh, you'll center it, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's centered on the camera.
All right.
If it's not centered on there, I can. Oh, you're good there. See what I mean? But that's okay because I want to get Trump and the flag and everything in the background. So, okay. The other thing I was going to suggest is we put this in a teleprompter so you don't have to read pages, but I don't know if you want to have it all that in a teleprompter. That would take another 5-10 minutes to put in the teleprompter. All that your notes there, so you're not looking at a page.
Well, I don't know. Now we have to weigh the pros and cons of that.
Make sure this is working. I'm used to
I don't know because then
yeah,
it
sure,
can
fine.
it can.
Yeah, this is you're reading it. As
Yeah.
I just turn this on. That's good. All right, fine. All right. Urgent call to action.
Hello, friends. This is Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. Today I want to share with you an urgent call that I have issued across this nation to full-time involvement in the great cause of ending abortion and restoring protection to children in the womb. I want to read this statement to you, which is also available on our website, endabortion.us. And thank you in advance, not only for receiving this urgent call, but for implementing it and answering it in your own life. Having just celebrated the annual observance of our nation's independence and reflecting on the great principles on which our founders built America and for which they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, I want to take this occasion to issue once again a call I have issued consistently since 1993. It was at that time that I heard and responded to this same call in my own life, namely, the call to devote all one's time, energy, and resources to defending the youngest children from the violence of abortion. There are many people throughout this land who are already living that call, and even more who, while not able to do so full-time, are giving as much time and energy as they can to ending abortion and restoring protection to the children in the womb. The call is to everyone to do as much as is humanly possible in this most urgent human rights cause of our day. Many are being called to leave their professions and to take their professional skills and devote them to the cause of protecting the unborn. And I want to say today that now is the time to answer that call. I want to fan the flames that are stirring in many hearts that realize that the right to life itself, which is being denied to children still living in the womb, is in fact one of the founding principles of this nation and is the foundation of the entire fabric of social justice. If therefore our founding fathers were justified in giving themselves completely to fight for God-given rights, and if anyone at any time has been justified in giving him or herself completely to the service of those who were oppressed by any injustice, then at the present moment it is justified for us to give ourselves completely to the great cause of ending abortion. Abortion remains the most urgent social and moral problem we face. And this is true for various reasons which have not changed. First, there is nothing in America or in the world that is taking more human lives than abortion. It claims more victims than any disease, natural disaster, war, or act of terror. Second, without life, we don't have anything else. The right to life, as St. John Paul II said very simply, is, quote, the most basic and fundamental right and the condition for all other personal rights, end of quote. That was in his 1988 document, Christi Fidelis Laici. Presumably, efforts on behalf of the right to health care, to education, or to immigration are efforts on behalf of people who are already alive. Take away the right to life, and you take away all the other rights at the same time. Third, no group of people are more defenseless than the children in the womb. They cannot speak or even pray, and they do not know the danger that they are in. If there is a preferential option for the poor, a duty to seek first those who are most marginalized and oppressed, an obligation to help the most helpless, then this speaks powerfully to the need to put the unborn first. Fourth, not only are the unborn the most defenseless, but they are the only group whose very right to life has been completely erased from the law, and for whose scheduled death there are hundreds of legal clinics throughout America. Many injustices claim or threaten human lives, but what other human beings are decapitated and dismembered each day in legal and publicly advertised facilities? An act of violence that is recognized as a crime is bad enough. But when that crime is transformed into a right, the evil takes on an even more horrifying dimension. And fifth, the violence against the unborn is bad enough if carried out by a stranger. But adding to the moral urgency of the problem of abortion is that one or both parents, sometimes also with the involvement or pressure of other family members, who are authorizing the violence. Abortion is violence against life within the very sanctuary of life, the family. And nothing is more destructive of the entire family than is abortion. For these and other reasons, fighting and ending abortion is priority number one for the church, for the state, for families, and for each of us individually. The most urgent issue today is not immigration, or climate change, or terrorism. The most urgent issue is abortion. It has been so for a long time, and it remains so today. Many issues are urgent. But as the United States Catholic bishops have taught for decades, these issues are like the different parts of a house, all interrelated, but all dependent on the foundation. Abortion strikes at the foundation of the house, the right to life. See the U.S. Bishop's document, Living the Gospel of Life. We will never build a society that feeds the poor if we refuse to feed our own children. We will never teach children to stop killing other children by gun violence until parents stop killing children by abortion. We will never teach society to stop killing the guilty by capital punishment until we stop killing the innocent by abortion. We will never learn to welcome immigrants across the border of our nation if we cannot welcome children across the border of the womb. And we will never maintain peace between nations if we cannot maintain peace between a mother and her own child. Both reason and compassion call us to put first things first. We must end abortion. Not only is all of this true in and of itself, but added to this are the current circumstances in America, which truly constitute a pro-life moment. A moment of perhaps unprecedented intensity and opportunity. The abortion issue has reached a boiling point in America. In the states, both pro-abortion laws and pro-life laws have gone farther in opposite directions than ever before. Abortion rates, ratios, and absolute numbers are at historic lows. On the federal level, we have never had a more pro-life presidential administration, and no previous administration has been under such vicious attack by its pro-abortion enemies. The national parties are farther apart on this issue of abortion than ever. The federal courts are moving in a pro-life direction, and critical national elections are on the horizon that will determine how quickly the national tragedy of abortion comes to an end. This is the pro-life moment in America. And while this issue has always deserved the full-time commitment of our citizens, there has never been a more appropriate or urgent moment than now for such a commitment, nor ever a moment that had more promise for the fruits of such a commitment. The effort to end abortion has multiple facets and therefore requires people from multiple backgrounds to devote their varied skills to the task at hand. Fighting abortion requires full-time professionals in every field to carry out many interrelated tasks. Research in the various aspects of abortion, its medical and social impact, messaging, public opinion, the impact of abortion-related laws, historical aspects, legal dimensions, statistics, and more. Development of alternatives to abortion and the work of thousands of pregnancy centers, and the ongoing development of standards of care and the analysis of their impact, along with training of their teams and legal defense of their work. Educational activity to teach the public the nature and development of the unborn child, how and why abortions occur, the impact of abortion, and how to fight and end it. Media expertise for broadcasting the pro-life message in traditional media and social media. Development of methods of direct action, protests, marches, sidewalk counseling, and similar activities, along with the training of those who undertake this activity either on a part-time or full-time basis. Ongoing development of strategic methods of closing abortion clinics by utilizing existing laws, enforcing standards through medical boards and health departments, educating the community, utilizing litigation, and training people in the aspects of all of this. Development of model legislation on the state and federal level for the protection of unborn children and their families. The training of activists and lobbyists to get these laws introduced, passed, defended in the courts, and implemented. Legislative lobbying, both in support of pro-life bills and opposition to pro-abortion bills. Legal activity to defend pro-life bills in the courts, challenge pro-abortion bills, and defend the rights of those harmed by abortion, as well as the rights of those who do pro-life work. Political activity to elect pro-life candidates and train citizens in pro-life politics. The work of the pro-life movement at the United Nations, the Organization of American States, and other international arenas. The religious and pastoral work to organize, equip, and activate churches in the fight against abortion, and the ongoing development of the work of healing after abortion, and the interaction of the various ministries in this arena, developing standards of care, training, and the ongoing analysis of the impact of that work. Any single one of these arenas, and others not mentioned here, deserve the full-time commitment of professional men and women who can devote themselves completely to the success of these efforts. As human history has progressed, people have risen to the occasion to help the helpless and to put an end to social injustice and oppression. We have seen this in the great movements that have uprooted slavery, ended segregation, and challenged oppressive regimes which have caused death and suffering to countless peoples. Moreover, across the nation and around the world, people discover their vocations every day as they devote themselves completely to the service of one another in some segment of humanity. Some specialize in feeding the poor, building homes for the homeless, educating children, practicing one or another specific area of medicine, working to find a cure for cancer, traveling to mission lands to establish the church in a particular location, and the list can go on and on. It is inconceivable that given all this, we could fail to meet or fail to value the need for people to rise up in our day and defend the most defenseless children from the most destructive act of violence, namely abortion. In the long annals of history, my brothers and sisters, people will look back at our day as the age of abortion. And they will look for the foes of abortion. They will see the massive, inexplicable blind spot that so many people and institutions had toward the unborn, and they will ask, who saw what was happening? They will calculate the numbers of victims, and they will ask, who was working to save these lives? They will see the vast damage done to moms, dads, and families, and they will ask, who devoted themselves to healing the wounds? They will see unjust laws and court decisions imposed by government officials who had no respect for the lives of little babies, and they will ask, who was challenging these officials, striving to hold back their hands from bloodshed and working to vote them out of office? They will see a nation torn apart and people at every level of society deeply divided by the struggle over abortion, and they will ask, who was on the right side of that division? We who do this work, who devote every hour of time and every ounce of energy that we can to this great cause of the unborn, we are on the right side of history, the right side of justice. Let us rise, therefore, to this occasion, at this hour, inspired by the conviction that history and Almighty God will judge us rightly. Let us indeed pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor to defend the lives of those most in need, the children in the womb. I'm Father Frank Pavone, National Director of Priests for Life. God bless you.
But you know what? When you and I take up this call and we talk about abortion, if we speak about it in church, we're told we're too political. If we speak about it in the political arena, we're told we're too religious. If we speak about it in the world of the media, it's too disturbing. In the world of business, it's too distracting. In the world of education, it's too controversial. In the streets, it's too disruptive. So abortion, if abortion is wrong, where do we go to say so? We go into the churches, we go into politics, into the media, into business, into education, and into the streets. Some churches haven't wanted to get involved in political hassles with the government, so they've been silent on abortion. They didn't want to get involved in hassles from the government. They didn't want to take the fight to the government. So now with the HHS mandate, the government took the fight to them. And when it comes to that mandate, we've got a simple message. We will obey God rather than men. As Alveda can tell us, her uncle said one day to the civil rights movement, we've got a lot of obstacles in our way, but we're not going to let anything turn us around. We're not going to let no dogs turn us around, no water hoses turn us around, no police clubs or jail sentences, and we're not going to let any injunctions turn us around. And so today I say to you, in the pro-life movement, no Planned Parenthood is going to turn us around. No biased media is going to turn us around. No HHS mandate is going to